All right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Milwaukee, WNOV. Welcome to Be a Voice Radio. I'm your host, David Bowen of Wisconsin Voices, the ED over there. And we are have one or two more shows with you guys. And happy holidays. We went out so quick last week. We barely could fit that happy holidays in. So if you celebrate Christmas, if you celebrate Kwanzaa, celebrating the new year, happy holidays. Hope you are enjoying your time, hopefully with loved ones, people that you care about, you love to be around, and you get a chance to recharge going into the new year. Now, this is the fourth day of Kwanzaa, and is Ujama, cooperative economics to build and maintain our own store, shops, and other businesses, and to promote from them together, and to profit from them together. There we go. So definitely shouts out to all the good folks that I know participated in Dr. Claiborne Benson's kickoff at the Black Historical Society Museum right there on Center Street. I saw it was packed over there, and yeah, it looked like it was good vibes. Good vibes. We got to get the good vibes from somewhere. We just did not get it from the Packer game. Okay. We always kick off Mondays, and we always either we in here celebrating or we are in here decompressing. Today we are decompressing. We will get to the political talk and all that because we have a great guest today. But man, listen.
But I think
how you feel about it?
I think the Packers played it smart. I think they played smart.
Yeah.
Because you want to go into the playoffs.
Yep.
Healthy.
Yeah, you do.
And you want to put your best foot forward. So we already locked into a playoff. We can't lose.
Yeah, we got a spot.
Our spot. So
yeah,
and we play in Chicago either way, whether it's in Green Bay or in Chicago. So either we 2 or we 7.
Mm-hmm.
So it's locked in. So we know we play in Chicago. We just don't know where. But in reality, it's the same place because it's cold in Chicago like it's cold in Green Bay.
So, now we could still get the 2 spot.
We can still get the 2 spot.
The Bears just lost yesterday, and that was a great game.
And if they lose next week, then we can get the 2.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, either way, we're playing Chicago, whether it's at home or on the road.
We can't get the 2 spot no more because we don't got enough wins. But we could also possibly play the Eagles.
Wait, but I thought that we got a better division record because they said that we was locked in.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we was locked in with the division. So even though we're a wild card right now, if we win our division, then we get the 2. It's about winning our division.
Yeah.
Right now, we could, with that loss, we could possibly play the Bears or the Eagles. If the Bears lose and the Eagles win, we play the Eagles.
Right. But if the Bears lose and if the Eagles lose, then we play the Bears.
Then we play the Bears, yes.
Right.
Or if the Bears win, we play the Bears.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's just about playing at home or playing in Chicago. Yeah, I don't want to play Philly first round.
I want to play Philly first round. No. You don't want to see that.
You don't want to play Philly until never. Because Philly, man, it's Philly defenses. And then they running game, man. And man, that's the issue that I have with us because man, running that ball like Henry did. Henry was a horse out there,
bro.
man.
He was running.
And
he's trucking.
And people are looking at that like, man, they can't stop that middle because he came through the middle. He was just pushing cats down like they was little kids, man.
Man, it was
they was little kids.
A lot of the folks on the defense afterwards, they did not show up. That's not our style of ball. Man, they were running. They were running on us, man. It was bad. But there were some silver liners. And shouts out to Malik. I told you, like some of my boys love Malik Willis.
I like his game.
Yes.
Man. He just needs the opportunity. And if he get that real deal opportunity for him
I think it's coming
run
after this season.
And then that pass that he threw,
man,
it looked it was just hanging in the air, man. Like he gonna get that opportunity, man.
Now there is a debate. Do you allow Malik and Jordan to battle it out for the number 1 spot?
I mean, Jordan won because again, you pay him the big bucks.
Yeah, you got it already.
You ain't gonna pay him that big money to put him behind somebody that's making a whole lot of millions less than him.
Yeah.
That makes no sense.
That makes no sense. Yeah.
Yeah, so we know that he already got it. Now, I would say keep him on the roster because Jordan Love is injury prone. So he gonna get hurt. Playing that position.
I feel like it's the new trend in the league is everybody's gonna get hurt.
Everybody, like it's 100%
cannot
guaranteed.
Get through a season.
100%
people don't get hurt.
that somebody on your team is gonna get hurt. 100% guaranteed.
And your QB1 can't be the only one to sustain the whole team.
Exactly.
If something happens, that is the new trend. If you don't got a good backup, I don't even see how you can stay in position for playoffs and then make it far,
bro.
Yeah,
because playing in the playoffs and playing in the cold.
Yeah,
if they knock your starter out, because we was down to what was that cat named
Tune. First throw,
but in his defense, it wasn't his fault because he threw the ball and it hit the guy right on the numbers and he just missed it and it bounced out of the door.
That's one of the worst ones because once you miss it and at least the ball don't go down, if it goes up, somebody's grabbing that ball.
It's over.
Somebody's grabbing that ball. That's exactly what happened. So, yeah, that's how the cookie crumbled.
It crumbled.
I text my good brother, Mayor of Baltimore, Brandon Scott. I said, tell them stop running the ball.
Jesus. Doc, I mean,
he was cracking up. Doc, they was treating us like we was little kids. He said we need this game. and they played. They
like
actually did. The Ravens needed that game for sure.
But I think just even with them winning that game, because they have to win out now. But what's the name? Is not, man. He hurt.
Mm-hmm.
So even trying to win out on this next game, it's gonna be because how do we go beat with Baltimore? I think Baltimore has to win out in order for them to get in, right?
If they beat the Steelers this week, they in.
Because the Steelers lost or won?
Yeah, because the Steelers lost this week.
That's right. So it actually. So now
the Browns, Shador Sanders.
Man, he was looking
good.
Hey, I'm telling you.
The Browns beat the Steelers. Stopped Aaron Rodgers.
Next year, if they really, really, really get this cat to what he needs, I think he's the guy that's going to turn this franchise around.
But they actually have to embrace him, though. And right now, they're not embracing. So either he's going to go somewhere else after this. But like, yeah, he looks good in the NFL. Finally, you can see that. You can prove that.
The fan base is embracing him. It's the front office.
Yep.
And as a front office or a team owner, if he's putting butts in the seats, man, let's put everything behind this guy because it's going to benefit us.
Yeah. I just love to see black quarterbacks.
Yeah, Doc.
It's a different day.
Yeah.
I highlight that to my friends all the time. Like, listen, this is a new day to see brothers in the QB1 spot.
Yeah.
And like succeed, thrive, kill it.
Yeah, because back in the day it was just Randall, it was Steve McNair, it was Warren Moon.
It was a short list.
Yeah, and that's pretty much it, ain't it?
And none of them had a chance to be Super Bowl winners.
Donovan McNabb.
Yeah. He was the first one. He was the first one. Yep. Yeah, man. So we got a really good show for you today because we want to dive into election misinformation and some of the folks that are on the front lines doing really good work. And I want to tee up this video first before we get to our guest. And she is coming from an organization that is championing, making sure that they can counter misinformation, disinformation, and we get a chance to work with them as well. So that is Shout Out UK. I'll bring Ruth up soon, but let's tee this video up and then let the listeners listen.
Donald Trump.
Amid concerns over this video appearing to show someone ripping up mail-in ballots for Donald Trump in Pennsylvania, the FBI is now warning the fake video is a product of Russian actors who manufactured and amplified the video as part of Moscow's broader effort to raise unfounded questions about the integrity of the U.S. election. The video, the latest following the propaganda playbook, like this fake news report about a car accident involving Vice President Harris, or this phony story about Ukrainian officials using U.S. money to buy yachts, both debunked as fake. Pennsylvania's Secretary of State urging voters to seek out the truth.
Turn to trusted sources of information when it comes to answering your questions about elections.
U.S. intelligence agencies warning in the run-up to the election, Americans will be bombarded with even more false content.
We're seeing more disinformation now than we've ever seen it before.
Darren Linville, the co-director of the Media Forensics Hub at Clemson University, tracks online election propaganda.
What is the ultimate goal of these foreign actors with these disinformation campaigns?
A very common goal, especially of Russia, is to divide us. If we're fighting amongst ourselves, then Putin gets to do whatever he wants.
It's not just Russia. A threat intelligence report from Microsoft says Iran is gearing up for additional influence operations, and China is shifting focus to down-ballot races. The disinformation, in some cases, delivered directly to voters, like these text messages sent to young people in Wisconsin, falsely threatening that students from out of state could be fined or even jailed for voting there. Tanisha Vanden Langenberg, a senior at the University of Wisconsin, received the text, though it's still unclear who sent it.
It created a lot of talk on campus where it was like, wait, can I vote or can't I vote?
Students are allowed to vote in the state, but the confusion created is exactly what disinformation campaigns want. Maura Barrett, NBC News.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news.
Appreciate that. So that tees up this conversation well, because we know more and more these elections will become even more challenging and contested, and just heightens the importance for everyone moving forward. And we know that those efforts of misinformation are many times targeted towards our community and the elections that we participate in. Wisconsin is a swing state. We live in a very important region of the country, and a lot of interests try to make sure they can influence our vote. So I want to bring Ruth into this conversation. Ruth comes from Shout Out UK. Ruth, good morning. Thank you for joining Be a Voice Radio with Wisconsin Voices on WNOV.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Happy holidays, first off.
Yeah, same to you.
Absolutely. And give us some insight about Shout Out UK and the work you guys do.
Yeah, so specifically, I am coming from Shout Out UK, or as we like to call it ourselves, SOAK, here in the US, because we are not in the UK. But we are a global media literacy group with 10 years of experience in 15 countries, coming here, partnered with the US State Department a few times over. And we are just here looking to Wisconsin as, like you said, that intersection of rural and urban, all across the political spectrum. We are here to kind of use SOAK's decade of experience to have that kind of global view of politics, of misinformation, of media literacy, and bringing that specifically to our educators and our youth practitioners to upskill them so that they can upskill our youth. That's our goal here.
That's awesome. And then how many years have you served with SOAK?
I'm going on a year. So coming up here, I have worked I've worked in the, as a Wisconsin native myself, worked in nonprofits in Wisconsin for over 5 years. Coming up on, I think, how long have I been with SOAK? About 6 months now. We've been working together, and we met through a really great connection here that's been working with Wisconsin Voices as well as City Forward Collective, and she connected me with them to bring this training to our Wisconsin schools and educators.
Awesome. And I highlight years, but we all know in the pro-democracy movement, you need to measure by months, because
you do. I mean, especially how fast things change, for real. Absolutely.
Exactly. So really appreciate the work that you are doing. And you talked about this training that you all have championed and having accessible for educators. Let's talk about what was the root of coming together to find this as a program opportunity for you guys and to make an impact there.
Absolutely. I mean, what we're seeing here in America, we're seeing 96% of teens are using the internet every day, and I'm sure that number is higher. But yet research shows fewer than 18% of those teens can distinguish between news, ads, opinions, entertainment online. And in Wisconsin specifically, we are seeing WDPI has reported that at least 41% of those kids are on social media every hour. And again, I'm sure that number is higher. Yet fewer than half of schools have a digital learning plan in place to support those kids. And 0% of schools are required to have a digital learning plan or standards. So what that means is that schools are implementing technology without guidance for students to use it safely, effectively, and critically. And while that's not necessarily on the schools themselves, it is an issue. We're seeing across the board the rise of AI and the expansion of the media landscape and its relevance in everyone's lives. There is an increase in misinformation online being served to everyone. And whether it's intentional or not, the problem is increasingly relevant. So combining that with low levels of media literacy, the well-being of youth is at risk, and of democracy is at risk. An uninformed democracy is not a democracy, right? So people ingesting this bad information without the critical thinking skills to dissect what they see, that's an issue. And that's what we're here to kind of help solve, basically.
Absolutely. And you talked about the impact on young people. I totally agree. As you relate those stats, we're near 99.9% of young people always having access to the internet, to devices, and to information. So I love the angle and to highlight that, young people need to be educated and made aware of how to pretty much spot good sources of information, true sources of information, and educators as well.
Yeah, I think it starts with educators. I think that anyone that's interacting with youth has this opportunity to champion these skills. SOAK is really interested in seeing youth be more involved and educated. And whether that starts online, starts in the classroom using these skills, that's great. Especially, I think these days, like you were saying, and as the video kind of points out, democracy around the world it's in conversation with our everyday lives. And I think democratic engagement has kind of been taken for granted. It's just always going to be there, but that's not necessarily the case around the world. And so having these skills will not only support youth in their everyday lives, but also just help them become more involved, active participants, democratic participants. These skills are important to have, but it's even more important to use these skills, and they are the next generation. We are building more resilience in them and in our democracy by championing them. So that's our goal here.
Absolutely. One of the things that we highlighted in the clip before, and that was an NBC News clip, from leading up to the 2024 elections. You have foreign interests that are creating fake videos, deep fake videos, platforms like TikTok and Instagram and Facebook, those type of platforms that will have these type of videos that are, based on misinformation to lead folks a certain way in their thinking or their action. And then on top of that, you have the efforts of even text messages going directly to folks that are eligible to vote, even just targeting different communities, regardless of your eligibility status, to get them to believe that the details of the election are different. Those kind of like wrenches, throwing that right into the spoke of the wheel and seeing if it stops the democracy to be able to move forward. Just give us your thoughts on how the dynamics of where these sources of misinformation are coming from and what's their efforts, what's their real goal.
Yeah, I think that we are seeing a lot of different parties having an interest in the United States elections, but just in local elections in general. And I think that's just because we all have a motive, we all have a bias. Everyone does. And it's not necessarily to me as important to understand what their, their overarching plan is and how they are going to, like you said, throw a wrench in our plans, but more every time you read something and every time you are ingesting information about, especially about politics, is just having that critical eye and that knowledge to know like someone has that bias, and teaching these skills of media literacy and political literacy, showing people that there is intent. Authors always have an intent. And how do you read through that? How do you understand that as someone that is constantly taking in new information, especially online, especially on these different social media platforms? I think it's always going to be, a prevalent issue, especially going into the future, with such easy access to our inner lives that these different actors will have. You just have to have that critical eye, and it's hard to develop, and we all need a refresher on that, I think. Especially, like I said, with the rise of AI and disinformation, these things are going to exist. So it's not necessarily thinking about why are they doing this? How do I prevent seeing it? It's more just taking a second to, every time you're online, thinking about what you're reading and how you dissect that and build an emotional resilience to what you're seeing. I think is the big issue in these upcoming years.
Absolutely, and we know AI will be used even more, right, in elections in the future, and creating those dynamics are really important to give folks the tools to be able to protect themselves. Let's go ahead and take a break. When we come back, we'll talk about how folks can get involved and actually be a part of those trainings.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Welcome back to Be a Voice Radio on WNOV 860, 106.5 FM. And you're here with me, David Bowen, and Ruth of Shout Out UK, SOAK for short. But then they are US based, and they do a lot of programming for folks in different parts of the country. So thanks for joining us again, Ruth. Let's dive into the opportunities that people have to participate and to learn.
Hi, yeah, thanks, David. SOAK is offering Wisconsin educators and only Wisconsin educators and organizations a fully funded, impartial train the trainer program that is looking to foster that digital citizenship and media and political literacy in youth practitioners, educators, to help youth develop those media political literacy skills as well, and promote that active participation in their communities and their democracy. So we are doing that through a customized presentation for groups of any size. And we are upskilling these groups on their own media and political literacy skills, and then going over resources to use with youth in order to develop those skills in them as well. And really just critical thinking. So we're offering these trainings in schools, teachers, groups, youth-facing organizations, really anyone up to, we do sessions as little as 1 hour to up to 6 hours. We come back, we do it however many times you're interested in, but really just looking to train the trainers and give educators who are already, overworked an easy route to bringing these issues up with the youth that they interact with. And we focus on things like tools for media literacy, understanding and talking about AI, activities and discussion topics they can use with youth, and then the option to connect with a network of participants afterwards as well and stay up to date with SOAK and what we're doing. And yeah, so you can sign up for that through our website at shoutoutuk.org/clicksmart, or email me directly, ruth@shoutoutuk.org. But yeah, happy to connect with anyone or answer any questions you have. But we're really excited to be bringing this to Wisconsin, like I talked about. It's an important place in the country, but often forgotten about. So
awesome. And typically the training is in person or virtual?
Either or, in person, online, and yeah, like I said, we customize it to whatever the limits of your group are. So time limits, as well as we love to focus on, if you want to hear more about AI, we can talk about that. If you're more interested in activity development, we have a huge resource for that as well. Again, we're pulling from a decade of experience in the UK and beyond. So we have a lot of resources to draw from, which is amazing, and a great opportunity for us here in Wisconsin. Absolutely.
So then those who work with young people, those who have organizations, those are working in school systems, they have an opportunity to reach out to you to book this training. And then one of the things that we can do at Wisconsin Voices, we can commit to creating a space where we can gather some folks in our network to participate in that. We want to hit the ground running in 2026, and this will be a great opportunity. So we look forward to finding a date that we can promote later on social media and try to build up more buzz around this. It's really important. And as you highlight critical thinking skills, I've heard time and time again, a lot of folks saying, I think we're not preparing folks to critically think about the information. And now this is the information age. We're probably getting more information in one day than folks would normally have access to, probably in maybe a month.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm a news junkie, right?
Right. We all are. It's the nature of the world these days.
But the news cycle is constant, and in this current era, you're living several news cycles in one day, yet alone a week, yet alone a season. So this is just where we are. There is a ton of information to process, and we really do need to highlight and value critical thinking skills, especially for the young people that are in our communities.
Absolutely.
Folks that work with young people in our communities. So definitely appreciate you creating that. The magic of radio is that you have to repeat everything twice.
Beautiful.
Because sometimes people won't catch your email or the website on the first time around. So say that email one more time and that website one more time.
Yeah, you can visit us at shoutoutuk.org/clicksmart, or you can reach out to me directly, ruth@shoutoutuk.org. We're offering these through August of 2026, and I'm so glad that we got to talk about this and share this with everyone, because I'm excited to be doing this in Wisconsin.
Very much so. Really appreciate it. I have another video for us to react to. This comes from PBS NewsHour as they talk about AI-generated efforts in creating misinformation intentionally and pushing that towards different communities. If you want to listen in, and then we'll get your insight on the other end.
From robocalls to deep fakes, artificial intelligence is already playing a role in the 2024 election. Today, the Washington Post and Axios reported a group of leading tech companies, including Meta, Google, and TikTok, committed to limiting misleading AI content on their platforms. Laura Brown Lopez has been covering what this means for the upcoming election and joins me now. So, Laura, how have we seen AI already playing a role in the election?
Last week, the Federal Communications Commission ruled that robocalls using AI generative content are illegal. So that comes, Amna, after the New Hampshire Attorney General launched an investigation into robocalls that used AI to impersonate President Joe Biden's voice leading up to the New Hampshire primary there. And that investigation so far traced those robocalls back to a Texas company called LifeCorp, but that investigation is still ongoing. And last year we saw a number of ads using AI generative content, including the RNC, the Republican National Committee, putting out a Beat Joe Biden ad that used AI generative imagery and video to depict a dystopian future under a second Biden term. We also saw Ron DeSantis's, the super PAC aligned with Ron DeSantis's campaign, using AI to mimic Donald Trump's voice, and vice versa. Donald Trump's campaign putting out video using AI that impersonated Ron DeSantis's voice. So you're seeing a suite of AI being used, particularly by Republicans. And in preparation for this, the Biden campaign told me that they've assembled attorneys as well as legal academics to try to be prepared to combat more AI generative content.
But what are the concerns here when it comes to the election? I mean, what do experts tell you about how AI is a potential threat to democracy?
So this is a change in degree, and it's not that AI hasn't been used before in past elections, but it's that AI generative tools are now more widely available and they're much more sophisticated. So the AI threats in 2024 include things like robocalls that can clone a voice, phishing emails that replicate official templates, increasingly realistic deepfake video and photography, and then spoof accounts impersonating officials, offices, and news outlets. So the point, Amna, is that unlike 2016, AI is now faster, cheaper, easier to make because of the widely available generative AI tools. And I spoke to Katie Reisner, who's the senior counsel at States United Democracy, a nonpartisan group focused on election security, and she summed up the danger to the election process.
Election officials are already doing their jobs in such an elevated threat environment. They are facing harassment, threats of physical violence, disruptions to their administration of elections. They're having trouble recruiting sufficient staff and poll workers, and ultimately they don't have enough resources. So adding artificial intelligence to this mix is potentially going to make these election officials' jobs even more difficult. It's like pouring accelerant on this already very flammable substance.
So one example, Amna, is that you may remember that in the aftermath of 2020, 2022, there were Republicans and people circulating debunked video, but video of what they called poll workers cheating or throwing away ballots. And so what AI gives bad actors the ability to do is to recirculate that video, manipulate it, change it to make it look real.
So those kinds of videos and the emails, the images, the robocalls you mentioned, are they being targeted at certain groups? I mean, who is most at risk when it comes to being potentially impacted by AI in an election year?
The new power of AI allows bad actors to target specific groups. And so in 2020, minority communities were targeted with robocalls that discourage them from voting. But now, because AI generative tools are much more sophisticated, it allows creators to tailor content specifically to certain communities and make emails and calls just much more convincing.
Well, Meta announced recently they're going to be flagging images and AI-generated content there. But more broadly, is there enough being done just to safeguard against this kind of content?
So even though those companies, as you said, Amna, are deciding to label the content. They aren't outright banning it. And notably, X, formerly Twitter, has not even agreed to label AI generative content that might be fake. And so I spoke to experts like Lawrence Norden, the director of elections and democracy at Brennan Center for Justice, and he told me that labeling AI imagery and video is a good first step, but that ultimately it's all on the companies to be the gatekeepers and to be able to protect democracy.
They, I think, have the responsibility not only to ensure that to the extent possible that anything that is generated by AI is labeled for the public, but to increase their trust and safety teams to be on the lookout for coordinated bot activity that might be disinformation campaigns, to be on the lookout for fake news sites, and to be taking them down when they find them. And I'd really like to see them take as much responsibility for our democracy and for the integrity of our democracy.
So again, policing is all on the tech companies right now because there is no federal legislation mandating tech companies do this. They have to do it of their own accord. And also there's no federal legislation banning the use of AI content in political ads. And of course, even if there were, that doesn't stop foreign actors from using it.
Laura, what about people themselves who are seeing this content? What can they do to stay vigilant and not get fooled?
This technology is very confusing for a lot of people, and many people may not really understand even the labeling that companies are saying they will put on AI generative content. Labeling is not always easy to even see on an ad or on videos or on photographs, but advice that experts give is to trust with known sources. So if you see something that you think might be fake floating around on the internet or on social media or from an influencer, go to a known news outlet. Also, of course, if it's a question about voting, then go to your local, state, county election official websites.
Great advice, important information. Laura Barone-Lopez, thank you so much.
Thanks.
Awesome. So that was a great clip of a news story from PBS NewsHour. And they pretty much run down the gambit of mainly expressing how accessible it is to use these tools for misinformation, therefore increasing the amount of misinformation out there.
Absolutely.
Give me your thoughts.
Yeah, I think that the biggest takeaway from, it's scary to hear all of that. It touches on something where you are immediately on guard about, oh my gosh, I have to dissect all this information and I have to be aware and vigilant and I don't know what's true and I don't know what's false. But really, at the root of all of that is, yes, those critical thinking skills of taking a second and analyzing what you're seeing, but also building that emotional resilience to those very flashy kind of not only news stories, but posts. AI is expanding at such an exponential rate. We are not going to be able to tell what's AI and what's not by the end of maybe even the year. I don't know. The idea is not to be able to spot AI, I don't think. I think we might be coming to a point where that is not necessarily the goal, but the goal is to be able to spot what an AI video or any video is trying to tell you. And if it's pulling on your emotions, if it's trying to make you panic, if it's trying to make you feel a certain way, why? And to be very aware of that within yourself. And like they said, then go to a trusted news source, go to your local election officials and be aware of what we are seeing and hearing and confirming things. Going to a second source, even just one other place that's reporting on this might, take you out of that fight or flight. And that's important. And it's not a skill that we are necessarily championing in this modern age because we haven't had to. This is all so new. And the onus of putting that on teachers to not only teach, but then put that information into kids' heads, it's a lot. So we're just trying to ease that burden and help people out in that sense where here's the impartial tools that you can give kids, that you can give yourself to safeguard yourself and build that emotional resilience. I think that's going to be key going forward.
Absolutely. Builds another point I want to make, but we do have a caller from the community. I want to get them a chance to key in on the conversation, get their insights. Caller, welcome to Be a Voice Radio on WNOV.
Good morning still.
Good morning.
There in Wisconsin?
Yes, it is.
Mm-hmm.
This is Rick calling from Germany, brother.
Welcome, brother. Blessings.
And I hope everybody had a wonderful Christmas and Kwanzaa starting, and a blessed Hanukkah, and whatever other worship and religious you celebrate. I hope everybody had a good one. Hope you didn't eat too much and hurt yourself at the dinner table. I want to say hello to your guest, Miss Ruth.
Hello.
Ruth Schneider, is it?
Yes.
Good morning, good afternoon. It's late here in Germany where I am, and it's about 6:30 in the evening. And I just want to say that misinformation has been a part of American democracy and American culture for a long time.
Yeah.
Yes.
When you refer to America as a democracy, you're giving out misinformation. It is a representative republic, and the money that it takes to run for office is so incredibly large now that the wealthy rule in that representative republic. And still, I say that voting is important, that they are trying to take away voting rights not only from the average American, but from Black people, Mexicans who are citizens, Asians, Africans who are immigrants and pursuing citizenship, Islamic people from the East who are residents and pursuing citizenship. They're trying to take away the vote from all of these people. So America is not a democracy, but it could be if the majority of us woke up and stopped fighting over sexuality and gender, race, class and caste, physical health and disability. It could be a democracy and a more socialist country in the near future. And it's going to take the vote to bring the Constitution into the 21st century. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm done.
Appreciate you, Rick, and thank you for calling in to WNOV on Be a Voice Radio. You made a lot of good points, and I think you have a lot of concerns that make sense, especially in this conversation about why it is an effort. Why is there a goal by certain individuals, certain sources, to be able to force us to make our decisions in different ways and in our democracy. So Rick is highlighting a lot of good points.
Absolutely. I agree. And I think that that's why we are bringing these skills to anyone that will really take them, because we need to all be involved in our democracy. There is no such thing as an uninformed democracy, essentially, I think is what we all are getting at. And you have to have these skills in order to participate and be a functioning democracy. And that's what we're trying to do, and get not only schools involved, but get communities involved, get everyone involved at a local level, because that's what's going to affect you at the end of the day. There is no such thing as political literacy without media literacy, and vice versa. And from both sides of the aisle, from wherever you're coming from politically, you have to have these skills. And so we are trying to give everyone that impartial way to just bring these issues up so that everyone can have access equally. We really are interested in any school, organization, area that wants these skills, because I think that there's not necessarily inequality in Wisconsin. And so bringing up some great points about making sure everyone, no matter where you are, where you come from, has access to this, and that everyone values the importance of being informed and critical in democracy.
Yeah. As you talked about, like the emotional pull that is created, or the goal of these efforts to try to target us emotionally too. It reminds me of this new conversation on rage bait, and how there is deliberate content online to pretty much get individuals to get into a downward cycle of rage, where the only thing that you're doing is consuming content that is forcing you to build up a oppositional feeling towards something or someone, and those videos, those pieces of content will then take over your timeline, take over your algorithm, and that will be all that you see. And it continues to be fed to you over and over and over again, and it's very hard to then get out of those cycles of rage bait.
Yeah, I mean, we like to call that the echo chamber that you sit in. You know, you start building up this this community around yourself, and while community can be good, it can also lead you down some dangerous places. And I think that the first step to that is making sure that you are resilient against those things, and you're noticing when you are kind of falling into these rabbit holes. And again, looking at something, if it makes you feel so intense when you are reading it, if you have a very strong emotional reaction, you are supposed to look at that more critically. You know, if something is making you feel a certain way, look at that. And that's how you stay out of those extremist sort of like radical one way or the other views, because we are all part of a middle ground. And I think that getting back to that is so important. So yeah, anything that makes you feel either, you know, rage or extreme sadness or extreme anything, looking at that very critically and taking a step back every time, and, you know, building that awareness in yourself of, wow, I need to take a step back from this because it's trying to make me feel a certain way. And while that can be a good thing, it's usually something we need to look at further. And that's a huge part of making sure you stay out of those echo chambers.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you for highlighting that. We want to make sure that we get a chance to transition. But I want to thank Ruth again. You got some applause sound effects over there. We got the sound effects. There we go. Thank you so much, Ruth, for enlightening us today and giving us some really good information.
Thanks for having me so much.
We look forward to 2026. And again, you all with organizations and connections to young people, educators, you have a chance to bring this training to your school, to your school district, to your organization, to your staff. Even in some capacities for young people themselves as well, right, Ruth?
Yes, absolutely.
Right. So there's a plethora of opportunities here to make sure that our community is more informed and thinking critically in these election on years, and next year is a big year. We have a state Supreme Court race in April. We have congressional races and primaries, and we have the governor primary and
big year
general election in November, as well as the congressional general election. So a lot to make decisions on and a lot to influence. And we want to make sure that folks in our community have access to the best, clearest, truest information that they can, so they know how to exercise the power of their vote.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, please visit us, shoutoutuk.org/clicksmart if you want to get involved.
Awesome. Thank you, Ruth. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. And when we come back, we'll close up the show and see you back on after the break on Be a Voice Radio. Welcome back to Be a Voice Radio. Great interview with Ruth of Shout Out UK, SOAK for short, and the opportunities that they are providing over there. And we'll work together in 2026. Can you believe a year has already gone past? I think once we, it was New Year's last time, and the ball dropped and the date changed. Yeah. We got to like the first 2 weeks. I think the first 2 weeks might have been the slowest. But then once the inauguration happened, January, what was that, 20th? Yeah. And then, it was rolling ever since.
Yeah, Doc, it's been moving, man.
I feel like it's probably been like, we probably got through about 2.5 years by the time we're at right now. Time is moving. I want to give a shout out to my good brother, Jeremy Triblett. He is facilitating the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Liberation Summit. It will be Monday, January 19th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. at Alamode, 1942 North MLK Drive. It has a description. Hopefully we can get them on talk about this briefly tomorrow, but local leaders with national impact demonstrate how to use MLK's 4 steps of nonviolent campaigns to expose injustice with evidence, confront power through negotiation, train for disciplined resistance, and add collectively through nonviolent action. Register to experience interactive training, lunch, live drumming, and the MLK Liberation Guide, facilitated by Jeremy Triblett, with featured speakers Dr. Shantae Nelson. I see Ajumu Butler. I see Samaya Clark, and yours truly, David Bowen, will be on the panel and be involved to for everyone to leave with their own liberation strategy this King Day. So as I was racking my mind to figure out, like, man, how do I make an impact on King Day? What do I do? What do I participate in? Jeremy Triblett contacted me with the perfect plan, and I said that I am in. So happy to be a part of that. Again, that is Monday, January 19th. You can register for that on Eventbrite. If you also search Jeremy Triblett, I'm sure it's on his page. We'll put it on the Wisconsin Voices page as well. Please be involved and get involved in some great things on a day like King Day, recognized as a national holiday, and many folks will be able to participate in a number of different things that day, whether you're off work, on work, number of things that will be going on. And we'll also have some more plans for January 20th as well for the rest of that week. So more details are forthcoming, but really excited to participate in that. Big shouts out to Jeremy Triblett. I've known that brother since he was in high school. And he has an amazing family, and just excited to continue to see his impact as well. See if I can get him on the show tomorrow. But I have a treat for you tomorrow. We will have Alderwoman Charlene Moore. It's so funny that I had a chance to work for Charlene because she and Reggie Moore helped create Urban Underground, and I participated in that program when I was in high school and found my gift of being able to work with young people through that experience. Worked with them through Public Allies, and now we've traded places. I was once the elected official, and she was the nonprofit exec, and now I am the nonprofit exec, and she is the elected official. So looking forward to having her on the show tomorrow. It will be the last show of the year, the last show for Be a Voice Radio, and we look forward to potential partnership in the future. Can't stop, won't stop. Yeah. And we will we'll keep on dancing into 2026, but it will be plenty to do, plenty to work on. Know that we will continue to be here as a resource, and we will be on the front lines for sure. Being involved in the community, protecting our democracy and doing all that we can to engage and prepare our community. So it'll be a great 2026, I can assure you. And if it moves as fast as this one, hopefully my whole beard doesn't go gray, because the time is moving. But it's all good. Salt and pepper is in right now, so we'll take it.
I mean, at least you got facial hair, man. I'm out here
got
like
the goatee.
I'm out here like Babyface Edmonds, man.
You got the Tyrese goatee. You know what I'm saying? You good?
Man, I'm trying to get the thing, man.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. And you playing anywhere recently?
Yes. You know what? Matter of fact, this weekend, Saturday,
live music. Let's go.
Live music at the Packing House, man. Me and Joe Jordan and a couple other cats.
Nice.
Huh? One by the airport? Yeah, one by the airport.
At the Packing House. Man. Okay.
Come on out. And then Wednesday, New Year's Eve, Joe Jordan is down at St. Cake's from 6 to 10.
Ooh, so St. Cake's for New Year. That sounds nice.
So after I leave church, I'm gonna go sit down and play with him. So yeah.
Okay. So if you want to, after church, cut a rug.
Yeah.
In Jesus' name.
Hallelujah. And then come on out.
Fun. There you go. Jermaine, ride out.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate you, Zach.
And thank you for joining Be a Voice Radio. We'll see you tomorrow on our next show on WNOV 106.5 FM, 860 AM. Peace.